Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Double checking a few key factors here with ICP. I get the question a lot, like in situations like this when it breaks free from its range, how do you draw out your fib levels? Generally, you just kind of got to go back a little bit further and pull up some more macro fibs because there's no point in us continuing to try to pull it up higher and higher as it continues to establish higher highs, right? So we'll go ahead and do that really quick and just talk a little about this price action, which is looking quite nice. ICP is very strong right now, and it didn't even pull back to bounce off that recent fib level here. It just continued up. Like there's literally no retracement here. I mean, there's little bits here and there, but for the most part, anytime it goes up, we can see these very large candle wicks, very strong volume candles. So every time it goes up, it's like a massive injection of volume. So we're going to pay attention to that. I think a resistance is coming up here soon between 810 and 820 as a rough estimate. So I wouldn't be surprised we see some sort of retracement here in the relative near future. Okay, so cool stuff there. Quick congrats to our community members here for some good profits there on our Cardano and SUI trades. 65%, 21%. That was trades over the weekend. So far, no trades this week as of yesterday, minus my day trading bot, of course. We probably see about 10 to 20 signals a day there. But when it comes to swing trades, the market's been giving us a lot of false positives, and it's hard to want to warrant a long position when we feel like we're at the top. Granted, I do feel like Bitcoin has more gas left in the tank to hit its 59 to 60K range, but with CPI tomorrow and a few other key factors, we want to be kind of just careful and mindful, right? So at this point, just be careful. I would say less is more. It's perfectly fine. You don't have to trade like a crazy wild person. You can literally just kind of calm down and relax and find good opportunities that way, right? FOMO is going to hit, though. There's no doubt about it. It's hard not to feel that little bit of FOMO when the market's doing what it's been doing lately. So when we take a look here at the liquidation, we can kind of recognize that $9, $8.50, pretty heavy concentration there. Basically implies that there's a lot of shorts entering the market here, more recent than previous. Okay, so in the last 24 hours, roughly, we can see the price action continuing higher, and of course, these short signals or short traders jumping on in. So it does make sense, of course, shorting ICP at this level. It's overextended. There is a lot of reasons why it could pull back here soon with those fib levels. So it's, again, just something to be kind of mindful of. Because ICP has ran for a little bit. It has a history of doing so. So I'm not like super concerned with it pulling back necessarily. But from the outside looking in, it would make sense that these shorts are justified, so to speak. However, let's quickly note here again, we got a lot of liquidation at $9, and we kind of zoom in down below, 650, 660, there's that heavy concentration on the downside. So we're kind of in the middle of that range, if you will. I don't think we're going to see the $6 mark here anytime soon, but again, Bitcoin makes a run towards 54, 53K, probably going to see something like that. Either way you look at it, we broke our more recent high here, so we want to recognize that that's a potential support level for us. The price pulls back. We'll just kind of pay attention to that. Again, you're going to see me draw a lot of trend lines on the charts. These are just things for me to be mindful of and to pay attention to later. I'm not just putting everything I got into that one level, right? You want to kind of diversify, so to speak, and understand different time frames provide different attributes. So speaking of which, daily time frame, we can see here right at the 775 range, roughly where I drew that trend line out, is where we're seeing some confluence with some moving averages. So we got the 20-day SMA being above that is huge. Not a lot of coins can even say that right now. 50-day SMA closing above that would be even better. So 780 to 760, this little area here is providing some support, and there's a logical consideration for that being a good or the new bottom. Even though we do have a fair value gap as low as 750, this local high is going to work as a new support if the price is ever retested there. So let's go ahead and pull that out just so we can kind of pay attention to that later. I think this guy is fairly important in a lot of ways to be mindful of. Because again, it was 5 days the price could not pass that level. Now that we've passed it, the likelihood of the price staying above that is higher, right? It's really what it boils down to. So we're over 50 on the RSI. This is awesome. We were peaking above yesterday when we last looked at this. Now we've closed above. Excellent stuff. We can see stochastic RSI, money flow index high. TSI is increasing, MACD is converging. It's a lot of reasons why we're looking pretty solid here in the overall sense. The 4-hour time frame too looks very, very bullish. We're above all moving averages here. We can see as well that TSI is topped out, showing that we're getting some kind of, we're hitting an overextended state, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Look at our TD sequential. We've hit an overextended state at 750 and we haven't looked back yet. We're up over 7% roughly from that overextended period. Okay, so what we can see here is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more candles we've basically been moving in the same direction for 72 hours. Usually when you see a full 72-hour continuation, it's followed by some kind of pullback. So I'm not claiming we're going to see ICP drop like a rock, but I can tell you though that ICPs, if it continues much higher, it's more likely to pull back. So me personally, I'm going to set an alert here somewhere like this golden pocket range, just to get notified. If it happens to come up to that level, I may consider a short. Once again, there's a lot of liquidation here, upwards of $9 too, so it may not be appropriate to do that. But I'm simply just kind of giving myself a heads up that, hey, we see this happen. There's a strong chance the price will continue or potentially pull back based on overextension. Either way, a lot of these indicators are kind of telling us that. We're at 70 in the RSI2, breaking above and below. That is usually a sign that we're hitting some kind of slowing point. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there on the 4-hour time frame for ICP. Very, very bullish, so there's no other way around it. I would say shorting into this coin is not a really good call right now. Doesn't make a ton of sense. Even though I know it's overextended, the likelihood of pullback would be higher. It doesn't. You're statistically less probable to find success to the downside than you are going up. Do I recommend you taking a long right now? Not necessarily. Unless Bitcoin runs towards 58, 59K, we're probably not going to really see something like that, right? So why not be safe? I don't know. It just makes sense to me. Taking a look here at the Ichimoku Cloud. Everything is confirming bullish. All right, so there's really nothing, no other way around it here. There's absolutely no reason to consider a short position. This kind of confirms it. And if we do take a look at our TPO for today, it's right there at that previous resistance, that new support level is 775. So I'm speculating 775 is probably the newest low for us here. If the price does pull back to that area, that'd be a solid consideration for a long. Okay, so again, more likely, more statistically probable of seeing further upside here at this point. I know it seems weird to want to take a long at this level. I don't personally like doing it myself, but you are going to be in much better shape if you consider that, right? Once again, if you do end up shorting, just keep in mind anything below this level, we got to wait and see if it breaks below this level. I think 775 is kind of the new low for us. Okay. Again, Bitcoin makes a run towards 55, 54K. It's a different story altogether. We always have to have that caveat. But between now and then, on its own, which it's moving fairly independent, ICP is looking very strong, more likely to increase. Hope that makes sense. I forgot to clarify too, we are partnered with a new exchange, BTCC, really just an additional option for you because, again, when I recommend day trading and swing trading, you want to have two different portfolios. This might be a good secondary option for you. No KYC or VPN required. Awesome benefit deposit rewards, and they've been phenomenal over the last 13 years of trading. They've actually been around since 2011, so really cool exchange. Check them out. I like them a lot as a good alternative to Bitunix, and they are still my favorite. Personally, I would recommend them over BTCC, but on the same accord, that's just kind of, again, a secondary option for my members if you're curious. Thanks again. We'll look forward to seeing you next one. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. Take care.